time we give back. Sow a seed and show someone where love's at. Even if you don't give a dime, give your heart and share your time. Help somebody else in life. Give back. Let's give back.
Welcome to this episode of Ignite, Empower, Transform. I am your host, Hosea James Givan II, and we are having our second Black Men's Roundtable. Our three guests out of Chicago, Derrick Baker. Derrick is the president of DKB and Associates, a full-service marketing communications firm. We have Ronald Sewell out of London, England. He is a community activist. And we have Wayne Smallwood, a business and sports entertainment consultant. Looking forward to this conversation. Thank you for joining us for the show, brothers.
Good day. Great. Thanks for having us here.
Okay, as we have done in the past, I want to open up this show with a wellness check. Let me start out by saying that the last 3 months has, for me personally, been grueling. I have had experienced more death than at any time in my life, and I'm talking the spectrum from young to older. And most of you know I've built most of my life on developing networks and maintaining and preserving networks. And I'm now starting to feel the cost of that, and it's been a painful reality. It's been a painful reality to me. When you're building your networks and you're trying to sustain your networks, you're seeing the positive effects of that. But now I'm starting to feel the pain of that. And it's been hard, I gotta say. It's been very difficult at certain points. I got into a funk. I got into I'll say for about a 2-month stretch, I was like just out of it, really, really on the depressed side of things. But, fortunately, I continue to surround myself with positive people and coming out of it. But I do say it has been a challenging couple of months. Let's go around. Wayne, how you doing? How you doing, fam?
Well. I mean, you know my situation. I've been through my challenges as well. But, again, the motivating factor is the individuals around you, your prayers, your belief, and those individuals who motivate you, and brothers that are doing positive things. I know from listening to you now that you've gone through some tough times, but I can honestly say that all of my encounters and all of my discussions with you, you've always been positive, upbeat, and always progressive. So that's always kept me in a solid state of mind as well. I'll say that. But overall, right now, everything is going very, very well. Great deal of improvement has occurred over the last 12 to 15 months. So yeah, thank you. And sorry to hear what you've gone through, but again, no one would ever know by listening, speaking, and in your presence. So, I wish you continued success, and I hope your friends and family, everybody continues to heal from that, what you've gone through.
And we share, and I do this, and we do this because one of the things Black men, what we don't do enough is talk in a true and transparent fashion. And I think we need to do that from a mental health standpoint. It's important to share and to open up sometimes. And that's why I do it. I'm not, me, I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm a trooper, but I think it's important to be in full disclosure at times when we need to have each other's back, and we need to be open and honest sometimes about the challenges that we go through. We don't always discuss in the open fashion, and more than anything, that's why I shared that. D, how you feeling, fam?
So probably the best way to put it, that whole balancing act between personal and professional is a daily grind. There is, I know there's a particular species of shark, and I know there's got to be other fish as well, because of the contour of their gills in their body. If they stop moving, they'll drown.
Hmm.
So once the shark is born, for the rest of his life, he has to constantly move or he'll die.
Hmm.
Sometimes I feel like that shark. Most of the time I feel like that shark.
Hmm.
And so trying to find and create the ways, and I'm doing better at it, to not feel guilty when I'm not doing something. That's a daily struggle. So yeah, balancing personal and professional. It's a daily, hourly, sometimes minute by minute proposition. Got elderly parents who, elder care is now a big part of my life. So work, serving clients, trying to do me, trying to take care of home, trying to be a husband, grandfather, all of that. So not unlike, many other folks, daily grind, and then watching people, get sick and pass on, having to eulogize. A couple months ago, eulogized like a friend, colleague of like 37 years who succumbed to COVID, just drives home that you can't get out of life alive. This is not a dress rehearsal. And if there's something that you want to do, something you're focused on, whatever that might be, helping somebody, traveling, buying something, trying something, fixing something, man, do it. Do not wait. Don't say, in 4 years, I'm going to take this cruise. You may not be here in 4 days.
Right.
Whatever you're focusing on, work on it now.
Right. Right. Ronald, my man, London, England.
Yeah.
How things going out there, fam?
I first want to say that thank God that we're all here today. So
Amen. Amen.
we woke up.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, so
Yes, sir.
amen to that. It's like you're going through a transition, and right now I'm at a place where I'm just taking one day at a time, because so much is happening, and you just have to assess each day as it comes. You know, it's overwhelming, but I'm not letting it overwhelm me. I'm just staying in on the right track and trying to do my best. Yeah, it's a great loss. Like you said, there's been a lot of people, and every day you wake up, it's like, somebody else, and it just goes on, and
Right.
you sort of go with it. You just say, God, what's next? And just thank God that you're around to witness it, or not. It's a situation, but it's I think when we come out on the other side, it'll be something else to talk about, because I think it's heavy. Yeah, I think it's really heavy.
Okay. So what I'm going to ask is, if we can just take a brief public service announcement break, and we'll be right back.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Okay, welcome back. We are here with Derrick Baker out of Chicago, Ronald Sewell out of London, England, and Mr. Wayne Smallwood out of Jersey City, New Jersey. I'm coming in from Wilmington, Delaware, for this episode, and we're gonna touch on the next subject that I wanted us to talk about, because it's when we had our first show, I guess about 7-8 months ago. It was relevant in terms of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we're still experiencing a lot of folks that are just not trying to get this vaccination. Brothers, what are your thoughts about that? Let's start with you, Wayne.
Well, I believe in the overall safety of the community, and I feel that we as African Americans are underserved in so many areas of our economy, so many areas, I think, within our own communities, that we need to step up, as you mentioned, and we need to look out for our health overall. I'm a transplant patient. I thought it was critical for me to get both of the shots, which I've done. And I think in an effort to protect one another, because we have the diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, it's very prevalent in our communities. I think we need to sit down with our healthcare professionals and really discuss the consequences of taking it or not taking it, depending on other underlying conditions. And I respect that fully for those individuals who make those decisions based on their underlying conditions. So I want them to be smart about the decisions that they make, because it's for the future, as we've all mentioned. We've seen the devastation that this COVID has caused. It has literally closed the world down, not just the economics, but also the healthcare of all of us as a people. But again, as we go back and then look at our community, we're being affected more because we're underserved. We're not going to the hospitals. We're not getting those checkups, as you said. And it's a matter of, we need to have those health concerns for the longevities of our families. You know, as the Black communities, as we begin to rise, as we're doing great in business, vice president, president, I mean, we're reaching the highest offices in the land. We need to take care of ourselves, our health, not just our wealth, but our health also. That's one of the most important. We need to go sit down, speak to the health professionals, understand what our causes, what our issues are from deep within, whether it's family history of high blood pressure, diabetes, whatever it may be, and say to those doctors, is this beneficial for me? And then I need to know why. Go get a second opinion again, then make your decision. But I think we all need to be more informed. We need to go get those second opinions. And we need to understand our health issues and what we're dealing with. And then we need to go out, get on those lines and get those shots and be safe as well. Keep
Okay.
our masks on and stay diligent, you know, with our health care.
Amen. Okay. All right, Ronald. How's the family? How are people dealing with vaccinations or the thoughts of, for or against in London?
I think here we generally we have not a bad take up. There's 82% that's taken it so far. Just this week or last week, I think they started on the 12 and under, 12 and above. And 62% have taken that up. And there's some, you know, debate about whether they're too young and, you know, stuff like that. So I don't know where that's going, but people are taking it up. And then you have another sort of 70% who have had double jabs. So that's looking good. And then you have the rest who are still deciding, or for whatever reason. I think here it's, you know, they can't make up their minds. So people are confused about mask wearing and, you know, stuff like that. One minute they say you can wear it under the underground. The next minute you can wear it above ground, but you can't wear it in the shops. And, you know, it's a whole mass of confusion. So whilst the confusion is going on, I personally, when I go out, I just wear it because you're in the public domain. And when you're on the buses, I just, you know, slip it on. But it's a confusion state, but people are, you know, doing what they have to do day by day. I think if you're in the offices, you don't have to wear it, but it depends on how many people are in the offices, and not everybody is going back into work, because some people here are saying they don't know enough about it, and, you know, stuff like that. there's still a lot of, mistrust. But people are doing it. People are, are managing some kind of way. So it doesn't feel that bad or something like outer space. They're thinking, wow, this is so surreal or whatever. But I think it will get better. I'm hoping that it's going to get better next year. So we'll just have to wait and see. I am also curious what the politicians they're saying to push it, and whether they're doing the work in the on the local ground or going into the communities and saying, whether you should get it because it's good for this or good for that. So yeah, it's England is where it's at the moment. Yeah.
You get the last word on this, D.
I'll be brief. There's a lot of drama and trauma and death and illness that has come out of this. Obviously, has reinforced a couple of things for me as it relates to our community. Number one, it has painfully reminded me that in many instances, you simply can't protect people from themselves. You can't protect people from themselves. It's a personal decision. And I get that. Everybody in my circle personally has been vaccinated if they're eligible. So it's reminded me that you can't oftentimes protect people from themselves. It's also reinforced the reality that while we're all entitled to our own opinion, we're not entitled to our own facts. And people have created their own facts. And that is undermining public health. This whole notion of an honor system, having to be in an office or a confined space with someone who simply says they've been vaccinated and they're hacking away with the cough and they haven't been, that is a personal affront to me. That you're not vaccinated, you're not telling the truth about it, and you might be asymptomatic and you're spreading it. That is unfair, to put it mildly. I feel a certain kind of way about that, and rather strident oftentimes in my reaction. So yeah, it's reinforced two things in closing. One, some of these folks we're not going to be able to protect from themselves. And two, we're all entitled to our own opinion about what we're going to do as a personal choice, but we're not entitled to our own facts. And the facts of the matter is, although there are breakthrough cases and they never said this would be a cure, the overwhelming majority of people who are being really affected, dying, the long haulers, they're unvaccinated. And how you don't see and understand that is beyond me. We are not going to be able to protect some of these people from themselves.
Okay, brothers, very well stated. We're going to take one last public service announcement break, and then we'll be right back.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to this final segment of Ignite, Empower, Transform. And we're going to shift gears and talk a little bit about sports. An interesting topic, NBA super teams. What are your thoughts? Let's start with you, Wayne.
Well, obviously this is my passion. Obviously having played basketball, knowing several of the NBA players, stars, general managers, and now owners after meeting Valerie Davis of the Milwaukee Bucks. Do I like the NBA super teams? Not at all. I would like to see the balance in basketball as it's been since, I guess we're all about the same age right now. When we watch those playoffs with the Sixers, with the Lakers, with the Boston Celtics, with Philadelphia, even the Knicks, 94, when basketball was basketball, and whatever team you put together, as the Celtics have the 94 Knicks have done or 73 Knicks have done. You put that team together, you ride or die with those guys. You're loyal, you're committed to one another, and you guys do the best that you can, play the roles that you play, and you guys will become champions. You don't need three guys that are superstars all in the same position. I don't think it's fair to the fans watching, because there are guys that'll never, ever become recognized because they're the so-called average players or role players, as you may call them. But I think if you establish that team where you have your solid point guard, your solid shooting guard, your small forward, your center, and your other power forward, you put that team together, you guys get a basketball IQ, and you understand your opponents, you study your opponents, you work as hard as you can work, perfect your part of the game, and go and compete. But when you start putting these superstars together, I think you're taking away from the secondary or tertiary players who are not, quote unquote, considered the stars. You're taking the limelight off of them, and you're making the stars the continuous stars. You're making them all the money. You know, you're bringing all the attention because of one or two players. To me, it's not balanced, it's not fair, and I think it's taken away from the enjoyment of the game, to be sincere. Just nobody comes to see 1, 2, 3 players. I think you're coming to see a team. And that's the concept I believe in. And I wish we'd go back to that. And I wish they would make some restrictions like they do in football, where you can't put those superstars together and allow these guys, again, to compete with what the general managers have put together, and hopefully the best in each position. 1 or 2 positions and throw those guys together. No, select all 5 players, put those guys together, have backups for each and every one of them, and go and compete. Forget about the stars. Stars will evolve from there.
We're gonna shift to Derrick Baker. Your thoughts, my brother?
Man, I'm so full of. I told you before we started, we need a whole segment just on this. Let me just say a couple things. The NBA has been a players-driven league for some time, and I get that. If these so-called super teams had a better track record of winning titles, it'd be a different conversation. This SHIT ain't working. The super teams pretty much are developing in the larger markets. Joy, we talked about that before the call started. Right. You'll see a super team in Sacramento, New Orleans, and San Antonio. Right. So there's some economics associated with this. Now, I'm here in Chicago. We got a lightweight super team, but with the team that they put together, Mark Eversley and the rest of them, we don't have a doggone front court. We got all these shooters shooting, halfway decent percentages. And I keep saying, somebody's got to go get those misses. Lonzo doesn't shoot 55% from the floor. Who, besides Vucevic, whatever his name is going to go get those misses? Anyway, I'm getting too deep. I don't like the concept. If they had a better track record of these super teams in Brooklyn and LA and so on and so forth, winning every year, that'd be a stronger argument for it. But the outcome, the results aren't justifying the process and the composition of these teams. Somebody tell me, when McGinnis and Dawkins and the doctor and the rest of them, how many times did they take home the trophy? I just need somebody to tell me. Love watching it back then when I was a shorty. Last time I checked, Doc only has 1 ring. And only Doc is my man, but he only has 1 ring. Jordan, and I'm a homer. You know how many rings Jordan got for Cliff Livingston and Randy Brown and Dennis Hobson and so forth? To Wayne's point earlier, leader of the team, rode the team, Steve Kerr. Man, come on, you put a team together and you ride with it. Just go ask Giannis 90 minutes from where I am now. That's how you win. So these super teams, I may watch purely for entertainment, but they ain't gonna do a damn thing. They ain't gonna do a damn thing.
Thank you.
Ronald, what are your thoughts, bro?
I don't have a clue about super teams.
So I'll close out with my thoughts. Well, first of all, I'm a avid basketball fan, so I love the enjoyment of watching good talent, good teams. But what I really think is more the issue in so many cases when people have concerns about the current format is the fact that it wasn't a commissioner or a management led effort. You know, I think when I think about super teams, I think of the LeBron James. He took the initiative to make sure that he assembled a squad so he could win the NBA championship. And he went to, first he came back to his hometown, which you got to respect. No, I'm sorry. Started with Miami, right? LeBron James led that. He created that. So hold on. I applauded a brother taking charge of the NBA. That's how I saw it. Here's a brother that said, "Hey, I'm gonna do what I have to do to win." It's not the management. This was a brother. He did it again in Cleveland, and he's done it again in LA. They've had super teams from day one. When Bill Russell joined the #1 point guard in the NBA, Bob Cousy, people weren't in arms about that. When Wilt Chamberlain joined Jerry West and Elgin Baylor, people weren't up in arms against that. It's been happening from day one. Now, what I didn't like was when Kevin Durant went to a 72-10 team. That was crazy. That was, to me, the worst thing I've ever seen in basketball, in my opinion. How are you going, the team that knocked you out of the playoffs, you're going to, and you're arguably the top player, or certainly the top 2 or 3 players in the NBA, going to the best record in NBA history. That, to me, made me sick. We'll close out there. Any last statements? You want to respond to that, D?
We need another call, man.
Yeah, we need more time.
This is some fracadackle bull crap right here, man. we need another call just on this topic. You getting me worked up, dude. You getting me worked up. Yeah, my head's about to explode.
Thank you, brothers, for joining us for this call, and we'll get back again, and we'll touch on another.
Thank you.
Topic. But I appreciate you guys coming on, and I'm glad we had some fun because we talk about some serious topics, but it's also good to have a little levity.
Absolutely.
And just have some fun sometimes. So thanks again, brothers.
Thank you, gentlemen. All the best to every one of you.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Ignite, Empower, Transform. This was a great dialogue with some really solid brothers. And remember, if it's in your heart, do your part. Today's help equals tomorrow's hope. I love our youth. Power to the people.